right? That's teasing the Ahsoka and Sabine maybe following Balin's trail in season 2. This one, can you tell us anything more about this? A little bit more.
Yeah, so season 2, it was obviously a big challenge in many ways. Obviously, it's challenging technically, but this is the part of today that's a challenge. But it was a particularly big challenge because of losing Ray, who was just the greatest person and such a great spirit on the show. I knew Ray from, working in voice acting with him, and I just always instantly connected with him and thought, when I make live action, I need this guy to portray a powerful Jedi Knight that I'd had in mind. And he did not disappoint in any way. Ray was the most beautiful person on screen and off. He was wonderful to all of us. However big a loss you think it is, it's bigger. And it was a challenge for me to even consider continuing for a while. But I have a great support group with John and Rosario. And I found a way, and I had Ray in my head. And grateful for all the conversations with him about Balin. So I understood what to do. It just took a while to get there. But I'm very confident now that Ray would be happy with the direction that we've chosen. Spoke to his family about it because they were so important to Ray every day that we were working. And so we've continued. Because the character was meant to be important, he's meant to be the parallel to Ahsoka in every way. If there's a light, there's a dark, and Balin is representing a different journey for a Jedi that's lost his way. As much as you represent one that's kind of walked away from the Order, so did he. And that parallel is something that must continue. And yeah, I just kept hearing Ray, and I followed that, and it led us to the idea of bringing someone else in to play the part. In essence, because Ray had performed it so iconically, there's a blueprint for what this character should be. And then I talked with John, and John and I decided that we just needed to find the right person that would not just understand the character, but also understand a bit of what Ray brought to it as well. It's something imperceptible, something just in the eyes, really, to be honest. And I think we both felt very fortunate that things pointed towards, and we met Rory McCann. And so Rory will be taking over the role of Balin. And just so you guys know, and John knows too, speaking to Rory, and he spoke with Rosario, he takes it very seriously. He takes it very to heart. Rory's a big man with a big heart, and he has such respect for Ray and what Ray brought to this that I know his whole focus is not letting Ray down and not letting you guys down. So he really feels it. So you'll love him, and we love him now, and I love what he's taking on because it's a big deal. So the Force is with him, and I know you guys will be too. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, so the season moves on. Season 1 was so imaginative, with witches and galaxies. What are you excited for the audiences to experience in season 2, John?
Well, I'm lucky because I get, to be part of it, but really my biggest part is being the first audience member. And I get to hear the ideas, I get to see the doodles. It really all starts with doodles. That picture you saw with George and a black-bearded Dave Filoni with him drawing there. You think he's taking notes, but he's drawing. He's constantly drawing. And that's how he starts. That's the creative process for him, is it flows out of him. And then it becomes, Dave's got so many talents and gifts and skills, it becomes a script then. And then it becomes a collaborative art. And I think what's different that I'm most looking forward to is now he has the voices of this tremendous cast in his head in a way where it's transitioned now away from what it had been into what it is, and all these characters have found their voices. So, I mean, I could go on and on about the visuals, about the worlds, about the sets, about the ships, the fights, all the stuff people come to Star Wars for is all going to be. I'm so looking forward to how this comes to fruition as the first audience member. But really, Star Wars is about family, about people, about relationships. And so for me, as a partner in this process, and as somebody who gets to be part of this family too, I'm really looking forward to how these relationships have developed and matured as the characters start to know each other and as they fulfill their arcs that Dave has laid out for them.
Yeah. Wow. So Dave, we also Mortis Gods in the season 1 finale. Well, can we see in season 2?
More Mortis Gods?
Well, yeah. We'll see. It's big. It's crazy. There were a lot of what you were seeing there, those little models are these miniature versions of sets that we're building. Mm-hmm. And so I'll give you some spoilers. The hangar is the hangar on Home 1. And so we've reconstructed that. It's cool. I've got 2 full-scale X-Wings. I've got an A-Wing. I've got other wings I'm not going to tell you about. So that's really fun to walk around. These 2 sets, you don't even want to know about those. Those aren't, they're really interesting, but you didn't come here for that. So, yeah, we can go by that. I bring the Noti back.
Oh, Noties.
We got little old Noties. We got little tiny Noties. And they're in some peril, which is tough.
Again.
Not everybody's happy about that, but you know.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, and this is good. We got. I really. It took all of my effort to resist writing the line. It's a trap. Because I'm like, I can't do that. That would be so lame. Because this guy can't always get into the trap. Like you would think he would see it this time, right? So you're like, there's no way you could trap him again. But Neil Scanlon and I collaborated, and I said, Neil, we need an Akbar that really. I want all the wiggle that the puppet had. I want the rubber finger when it wiggles things, the Death Star. I want all of that. And so we've got Admiral Akbar back for season 2 in a much bigger way.
They did him dirty in his death.
In fact, because this crowd will get it, he's going to go head to head with Thrawn. So there you go.
Whoa!
Right? That's
Space
what
battle.
I want to see.
Well,
Give him
he
some
survives.
competition, you know? What's a Death Star compared to the blue guys? So let's
That's
go
pretty
for
cool.
it. So we're getting that. I don't usually give stuff away. Now,
Wow. Shoot.
I have to
Damn.
pay for the show somehow. So I created these small
Admiral
loft
Akbar
kittens,
v.
which
Admiral
we've never
Thrawn.
seen before. Their legs aren't strong enough to walk, so they
Legendary.
roll around.
Oh, that's cute.
These will be in Star Wars Shop next maybe celebration, I hope, so I can start paying Disney back for how much the lovely production I've gotten, which is wonderful. But yeah, loft kittens, all the rage. They come in several colors.
Woo!
Yeah, get used to that. And I brought Merle back because he was evidently a big star and I didn't know it. So, loft cats, who knew?
Cool.
My dog knew because he didn't like Merle, but that was about it.
We love the loth balls.
The lost balls, yeah, the little lost balls. And you can see the drawing it started with. But yeah, the Mortis Gods, that's a thing. So,
It is.
yeah,
Tell us
we'll
more.
see. That's what you watch season 2 when it comes out. You'll get a taste of it, but you get a taste of a lot of things. It's a complicated thing.
I
It
want
was the
a
weirdest
taste.
day with
I want
George
the whole
when he
damn
brought that
thing.
stuff up. I don't know where he was going with that one. And then I had to figure it out. And it turned out to be pretty compelling episodes, as most stuff George told us is. So, yeah, it's a big mystery. And, the son's there, the father's there, most of the daughter's there. So, yeah, we'll figure that out. It was a good story. I've read it. John's read it. Rosaria's read it. Rosaria's read some of it. I keep rewriting it, but we'll see. We'll get into it.
Keep rewinding.
Can't wait to see it. Well,
Yeah, good.
You mentioned Akbar with Thrawn, face to face. So Thrawn at season 1. Yeah, T's leaving and heading to our galaxy. What makes him the right villain for our heroes, David John?
You want me to? Well, starting with Lars, I mean, well, Thrawn is the right villain for this time period for the simple reason of heir to the Empire. If you know the book by Timothy Zahn, like, and those of us that are old enough to have grown up with that, he is the iconic villain. And the genius of that was that Thrawn's a villain that doesn't have the Force, but holds his own against everybody because of his, Moriarty-like intellect. He's very smart, very tactical, and he's a warrior. He's a great leader of the military, something that we didn't really get to experience a lot in the Star Wars movies. There's like one great victory when they take the rebel base on Hoth, Imperial victory, I mean, and so you love those Walker guys. They were successful, but everybody else kind of little hit and miss, despite being very precise, evidently. But Thrawn, you think, is something else, and Lars plays him brilliantly. Loved him when we worked with the animation, and I was amazed frankly, I was amazed because I had never worked with Lars in studio on Rebels. He was always remote.
Right.
And so I had no idea how tall he was. And I was like, this is perfect. Because I wanted a very tall, towering Thrawn because he actually looks imposing even next to Balin, who is large. And so, yeah, he's just the right villain for this era of the Empire trying to reform, trying to maintain its integrity and control, and with a cold calculation.
Cool.
That's Lars. Yeah.
Yeah, so John, every good story has a good villain, from your perspective.
Sorry?
Every good story has a good villain, so what's your perspective?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's great is that this villain has been established already, as Dave pointed out. And you have to write the villain smart. Always a smart villain is always a scary villain. The ones who are just off their rocker, they're fun to watch them chew up the scenery, but at the end of the day, they're not imposing. And a strong villain makes for strong heroes. And so you always have to judge. Usually if you look when you're filmmakers, you look at, if the villain's good, the rest of it's gonna be good. If the villain's wrong, it doesn't matter how good you depict your heroes. And so what's been established in multiple media here is that this guy is one step ahead and doesn't have, as Dave points out, he doesn't have special abilities or anything. He just has his calculations and his strategy. And that puts a lot of pressure on the performer, but also the writer, to make sure that you live up to the cleverness of that character. But if you pull it all together, then the whole thing becomes a puzzle. And so you're watching what's happening in Star Wars, and you're watching all the spaceships and all the explosions and the big production value, which is a big part of the stories that I've read that are coming up for the season. But also, you want to have it be something where the audience is rewarded for leaning in, paying attention, and trying to figure out where it's going. And a villain like Thrawn really affords you that.
Cool, yeah. So, Rosario, what makes you most exciting for season 2? It starts next week, right?
Next week. I'm just so excited to be with this cast again. It's so interesting as I'm looking at Lars and remembering the last celebration and the reception that he got that literally choked him up and brought tears to his eyes. He's just so incredible and so imposing. It's the same thing with Ivana. Like, they just seem so intense and dark, but they're like the nicest, kindest, most beautiful, like almost ephemeral people. Like, it's magical every single day on set. We're smiling, we're laughing, like all our behind the scenes pictures, it doesn't matter the good guys, the bad guys, the evil, whatever. Everyone is just so happy to be there, and the energy is just so powerful. And it's a lot of work. It's very intense. There's a lot of bruises. There's a lot of, it is very physical. And it's really wonderful to be with people who are just so incredibly professional, so remarkably talented, but just so truly kind. I mean, it starts with you, John and Dave. Like, it just carries over. I've known Hayden since we were teenagers. And the fact that we get to play in this, there's something so magical when we show up on set every day. And we have this resonance in history that is physical, like is real for us. And I think that's my favorite thing about Star Wars in general, is how real you all make it. You know, this show doesn't exist without you. You make it very real, way beyond fantasy. You live it and breathe it in the way that we show up every single day to do it. And it's just such a pleasure, and it's so rewarding, and it's such a gift. So I'm excited to bring on Rory. I worked with him 20 years ago on a movie. He's a really, really lovely human being, and he does, you said that, it's in the eyes. You know, Ray had this indomitable spirit, just so intense and powerful and so kind. Just such a laugh, such a joy to be around. And Rory has that really incredible balance as well of this intensity and fierceness and just love and passion. And so, you know, just doing the training, because we've been in training for the past few months, and it's been really, really fun. And now we get to really get into it, and we're all beyond excited because we haven't read all of the episodes, and yes, he does keep rewriting them. But oh my God, is it so
As we
good.
speak.
It's so good. So I am very excited for what this season brings, because we've laid so much groundwork in the previous season that now we get to, it feels like we just get to play, which is going to be amazing.
And, wow. And Hayden, well, Dave, since he is on stage, can I ask about, you know, coming soon?
Ask away. I'm curious to see what he's going to say.
What can you tell? I mean...
There's not much that I can share, but Anakin will be back for season 2.
You knew it. I knew it. We all know it. Force Ghost. Flashback. Probably.
Oh gosh.
I kept feeling like I was getting in trouble with that last time, because but you saw there were so many tapes. Like, she's got so many recordings at the least. And he's a Force Ghost, like something, right? No, please, no, yes, maybe. I pleaded.
All right. So thank you so much, Dave, John, Rosario, and Hayden. Thank you so much. What a wonderful time.
So that was the Ahsoka panel, talking about season 2. Some things to expect. So right now, we are watching Star Wars Celebration live on YouTube as the interviews take place and news release. Nothing too major on that one, but pretty cool. Thrawn v. Admiral Akbar. The whole crew here. Oh, and some stormtroopers.
This is gonna be awesome.
Alright, we're on the small stage here. Who are they gonna bring out this time?
Welcome back to the host chair. It's Anthony Carbone.
The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew are some of the amazing examples of the innovation and magic that ILM brings to the screen. Here to talk about it more is John Knoll. John, you've got a busy year, bud.
Yeah, things are happening.
Yeah, you're working on a lot of great stuff. Everything that's upcoming looks wonderful, but I want to talk about some things that have most recently happened. I was such a huge fan of Skeleton Crew.
Got John Nolan
Oh,
here.
thank you. Yeah, we had fun on that.
I was extremely overjoyed as somebody who has been, an ILM fan for years and grew up in that sort of heyday of Amblin children's adventure movies. Tell me what it was like kind of working on that.
Oh, it was great fun. John Watts and Chris Ford were really delightful to work with. The scripts, I was sold immediately. They were really funny. I loved the sense of humor. And then meeting with John Watts, I thought, boy, this is a really smart guy. He's got really good ideas, really nice person. Seems like this is going to be a very pleasant experience working with him.
Yeah, and you got to do some things that, I don't know, for me, I think they would be extremely fun, which was to explore what a normal suburban town would look like in Star Wars.
I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty
honestly,
cool.
that was a little terrifying.
Yeah. The mundane kind of
that
like
was one of the
day-to-day
first things
stuff
I
must
called
be
out
some of the
watching that
hardest
trailer.
stuff to
It's
do
like
in a way.
Suburban
The
Star
things that
Wars.
are sort of the slam dunks are sort of weird, exotic environments.
Yeah.
They're very divorced from terrestrial locations. And my big worry reading the script was, is this too terrestrial? Can we give it enough of a exotic look to it to make it acceptable as Star Wars?
Yeah, it was really fun to see very familiar suburban layouts with completely alien architecture. It was lovely to see sort of the story screen and the things that the children would be playing with and using. Can you talk about how you sort of like come up with, along with the art team and everything, how you make those things real?
Yeah, the WIM story pad was definitely a big artistic challenge because John was pretty adamant that he didn't want this to look like an iPad.
Yeah.
It should not look like an electronic device with computer-generated graphics on it. And he wanted something that evoked some of those old mechanical video games.
Yeah.
Like, the scrolling racer game or the light gun shark game.
Yes.
Where it was all sort of mechanical, transparent layers projected up onto the screen.
Yeah, it definitely gave that feeling. It gave a bit of a feeling of like a Viewmaster as well,
Yeah,
which was
exactly.
fun. Yeah, I loved seeing that. It keeps that sort of like not too many screens in Star Wars. Keep it kind of like its own thing. The bicycle, the speeder bicycle was very fun too.
Yeah, it's the designs were pretty hilarious because we've seen a great
Shout
many
out speeders.
speeder bikes in the Star Wars series, and this was little kids versions of these that were meant to be inspired by little BMX bikes or by the
like banana seats and streamers on the
exactly.
handles and
even Neil's bike was designed to look a little bit like it was one of those big wheel plastic toys that Neil had sort of half outgrown. It was a little small for him.
Grogu is interested. Grogu was looking at your answers. He was popping up. But there he is. The boy is right behind you, and he's been sneaking in. Listen, it's not all about you, kid. It's not all about you, kid.
Disney would
The
beg to
grown-ups
differ.
are talking right now.
Merchandise.
Something else that you got to do, we're always talking about the new technologies and the things that you all are pushing forward, but something that was like really lovely to see for me is that you brought back like motion controlled miniatures and things like that for the show. Tell us a little bit about that process and how it worked.
Well, that all really ramped up on Mandalorian Season 1 with Jon Favreau really wanting to do some miniature work on it. And some of the miniature work was in just generating the content for the LED volumes, where what we do is build a miniature, photograph that, and then scan it to become digital content for the LED volume. So you could have characters in real time on a miniature set.
That's fascinating.
And when we were doing our first Razor Crest flyby shots, John really felt like, there's something about these bare metal finishes that's really hard to get right, and how to make them readable in space where you don't have a lot of things to reflect.
Yeah.
And he wanted to try building a model and seeing what we could learn from that. And as soon as we decided, yes, we're going to build a model, then it was, Well, but we shouldn't just do reference pictures of it. We should try and shoot some elements of it to go in the show.
Yes. Yeah, and I remember you all showing that off a little bit, I believe, when the first Mandalorian trailer dropped, right? You showed a little bit of those flybys.
I think, at Celebration we showed a little taste of that.
Yeah, is it, I mean, I know that sort of ILM's thing is pushing all of these things forward and like creating new ways to do these things. Is it also kind of fun for you guys and important for you guys to kind of keep that tactile sense of things going?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really done a whole lot of that kind of work, motion control miniatures, for a while. But that was what I was hired at the company originally to do. I was a motion control camera assistant and then an operator.
Yeah.
So this was my comfort zone, something I used to do. And sadly, I'm like one of 3 people who are still left at the company that used to do that stuff.
Oh, wow.
So it was a really fun thing to be able to dive back into it. You know, it's like riding a bike, comes right back to you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the way you all make it mix and fit together so effortlessly, I mean, that's the real magic, you know?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's been really fun about these shows is the mixture of techniques is everything from the oldest of the old to the newest of the new. And, you know, we're comfortable with the techniques, the technology, and so we use just whatever is the right tool for the job.
Yeah, and it's got to be nice, you know, working with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, who are so entrenched in the history of it. You know, Dave being with the company for 20 years and Jon being such a fan before he came in. What's it like working with them when they also have this sort of encyclopedic mind of like, could we try this? Could we try this old thing you used to do?
Oh, it's fun. It's apparent every day that there's a deep love for Star Wars and for this kind of storytelling. So it's been great fun to be involved with this group.
Yeah. I want to talk about one character that fans have become a really big fan of. I want to talk about SM-33.
Yeah.
It's me.
The first time I saw SM-33, I fell in love. Just a little space rat crawling out of his eye. You know I love a weird little guy, John. Tell me all about this weird little guy.
You mean I-Rat?
Yeah.
I-Rat. Lovingly known as Snowball.
Yes.
Yeah, he was only going to be in like 5 shots, but we did the first one, and John was so amused by, you know, popping out of the eye and crawling around and jumping onto Neil, and Neil kind of flipping out, that he started thinking, boy, we got to put him in more scenes. So he's dotted now throughout the whole run of the series.
And it's amazing, and it's such a fun thing of like something that could be just a fun visual gag actually informing the character, right? Like there's this weird little eye-rat running around inside this droid that's causing him to like just completely malfunction in these wonderful ways, and it's part of his personality.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little more pointed in earlier versions, where someone would ask SM-33 a question, and, you know, he'd have this, you know, can't say I heard a no at, and but often he'd think for a moment, then you'd see a little sort of puff of smoke come out of his head.
I love it. That's so good. I mean, Skeleton Crew, of course, was the latest thing that we've seen from y'all, but you have been working on these sort of these Disney Plus shows and in the volume and with these new technologies for, gosh, about 7 years now, right? Yeah. I'd love to ask you, what are some things that have changed, you know, going through like The Mandalorian Season 1 to The Mandalorian and Grogu?
Yeah.
In the way that you've been doing things and in the way that, for you, maybe these shows look, that's evolved?
Well, I'd say it hasn't really changed that much. I'd say that Richard Bluff, who supervised the Season 1 the series, got a lot of things right the first time.
Yeah.
And I worked on that on the ILM side, and the mandate was we were trying to hit feature film level polish on the work, but in general, the work was a little bit less ambitious. You know, that there were fewer big, you know, armies crashing together, and, you know, a lot of less of the big bombastic stuff.
Yeah, episodic. You get your weeks that are more character and plot based, and your weeks that are more action based. Yeah.
So the work started off a little bit smaller, but we're still trying to hit that high level of polish. And then when we started in on Season 2, it was apparent that was sort of out the window, and we were doing full feature level complexity.
Yeah.
Like that crate dragon scene, that was pretty hard stuff.
That was amazing. The dragon scene in Mando season 2.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Whole season 2 was great.
Unbelievable.
And then in the next episode, we're in that ice cave with all the spiders.
Yes.
And we go onto Trask, and we're dropping the Razor Crest in the water and hauling it out and all of that. And
Oh my God, that dock, like port town environment, I think was one of my favorite things that's ever come out of. And it was just such a beautiful, evocative scene.
yeah, I really had a lot of fun with the Razor Crest, both falling into the water and then being hauled out. And as it was being hauled out, we were going for what we were calling a comical amount of water is draining out.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I was just like, wow, that thing sunk. That was sunk. And so now going into Mandalorian and Grogu, you know, like you're saying, it was feature quality, getting bigger.
Yeah.
What do you do now for something like Mando and Grogu?
Well, we're trying to resist the temptation of just going huge with everything. And so I think you're going to see something that is more in the spirit of what you've seen in these characters so far. It's more a story about the characters and not about big clashes of civilizations.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. You guys are always doing absolutely amazing stuff. It really is magic. Thank you so much,
you.
John, for
All right.
being here and all the work you do to make these stories come to life. We have even more from Star Wars Celebration Live coming right out. John Knoll, everybody.
Again, this is Detention like A23, a Star Wars podcast, and we are watching live Star Wars Celebration 2025 from Tokyo, Japan. We're on day 2, going through some some panels. Already got a bunch of news release updates. Let's see who we get to talk to next. Apologize if there is lag. Skipping. It'll be better in there. Love all the lightsabers.
Hey, I'm here at the Royal Selangor booth. I've got Yun Lee with me. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on for Celebration.
Oh my good lord, a lot. Yeah, so we've been working with Star Wars for nearly 10 years now, since the last one in 2015. Good lord, that's a long time. Yeah. But you know, the company is old. It's 140 years old this year, and we've been in collectibles for a long time. The thing is, today we've got medallions, of course. These are all show exclusives. The gilt, gold-plated, and the pewter ones. Wow. We've got Darth Vader as well. He's big, about this big. And chess set. So we launched the original chess set maybe about 6 years ago. And this one is gilt. So it's a more luxe version.
Okay. So what is that? When you say it's gilt, what does that mean?
That means it's pewter, but we dip it in gold plate. So we dip it in 24 karat gold, and so it looks really bling.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I've actually, from up on the stage, I've seen you have a demo video of, and the chess set comes up, and it's so striking. Like, tell us about the design of the pieces and what characters are in the chess set.
So that took quite a long time. It was a big debate between Lucasfilm and ourselves. It took more or less 24 months to come up with the pieces, the individual pieces on one side versus the other side. And especially the king and queen. I mean, that one is quite tricky. We wanted to have Anakin on one side and Darth Vader, but that really screwed people's minds, right? So, so we had to rethink again. Yeah. But now we've got we've got Luke and Leia, which is also a bit strange on one side, and on this side we've got the Emperor and of course Vader, and the rest of the crew. But it was unbelievable. We really enjoyed the whole process. I mean, Lucasfilm has always been very supportive of us. I've been going to the Presidio for a couple of times now, and they're always very welcoming, and it's a great product development and design process, creative process.
So we've got the medallions, we've got an amazing Vader, and we've got this chess set. And then you also do a bunch of Star Wars stuff that is not just exclusive for Celebration. You have some other things in the booth.
Yes. So like I said, the relationship has been more or less 10 years now. So we've got over 100 items over the last 10 years. I'm talking about my age now, 140 years. But no,
it's like a day over 120.
You don't think?
No.
Oh, thank you very much. But the whole idea is to try and work on the original trilogy. So that's 4, 5, and 6. And we got quite a lot of material coming out of that. So trying to work onto the next couple of trilogies was a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
I'm telling my age now, right? But the thing is, a lot of the time we are again having that discussion with Lucasfilm, and it's a good thing that my design team is much younger than I am, so they understand that whole Jar Jar Binks era, So.
We love it. Listen, if you've got a giant gilt Jar Jar Binks in there right now, come on, do you have one? If you got one,
that's a good idea.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be on the drawing board pretty soon.
Look at that. And when you do it, you can send me one. I don't need to be credited as creator or originator or anything.
I'll be very happy to.
Yudli, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks for coming over.
Yeah.
Whatever he's having.
Oh, skeleton crew.
How we feeling out there, everybody? How we feeling? I'm gonna come over here to Oakley and Cookie right over here. Oakley, what have you been working on since last we saw you? What have you been targeting for us? Right now, what are you working on? Right now, secrets. What are right there?
So the stage is Navarro. Okay.
I'm here with Tom and the Mando Mercs, and y'all have a beautiful space here in the fan area.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, this is the hidden Mandalorian forge.
Yeah, I was just admiring your forge. It's right behind you here. I was saying, I love the moment that image appeared. right before Mando season 1. Every garrison was like, we gotta have a forge.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think every Mercs clan out there has one or is building one.
Yeah, and yours looks amazing. You've also got like a bunch of your weapons here. What are people gonna see when they come by?
Well, when they come by, we've got Mandos outside. You come in, you have a nice tour of the arsenal here. You see the forge, and then you get your stamp. You know, we're doing the stamp rally, so everybody loves the stamps.
We love stamps. That's such a Japanese, like, cool thing to do here.
It's very cultural, and we wanted to immerse people in sort of a cultural experience for Asia. So it's great. It works out perfect.
Amazing. So, and I just want to give a shout out to your Mercs here who look wonderful. Merc, what's your name?
I'm Vicky.
Vicky. And you, sir?
Trent.
Trent. Y'all look wonderful. Come by and see these folks and get your stamp. Lovely booth, Tom.
Thank you. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. Who's next? Stand by. Sabers up.
Our next 3 guests join forces to continue the story of a character we met almost 17 years ago. And we love them to the world between worlds and back for it. Yep, I'm talking about Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and Rosario Dawson.
All right, we're going to talk with them again.
Very well. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Such interesting Star Wars music. I know it's from Ahsoka and Sabine on her speeder. It's so cool to be there. Such FOMO.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Welcome. Welcome. My goodness. My goodness. I got to say hello to the chief creative now.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, man. Oh, how's it feel to be back at Celebration?
Really good. Yeah, I mean, my God, look. Everywhere you see, has it ever been this big? Has it ever been this big? I don't know.
No. I heard this is highest attendance we've had in a while. Yeah, it's big show. Big show. You guys get still see what I say.
And what was I hearing? They were saying that yesterday, like 78% of the attendees are new.
Are y'all new to Celebration?
Some of y'all are new to Celebration.
Oh my goodness!
So cool.
Yeah. I hope. Have we been living up to your expectations so far? Oh my goodness! Happy to hear it. It's lovely to have the 3 of you back. You know, since Ahsoka, you've continued working together on a couple titles. How's it feel to be coming back and doing these projects together? What keeps you collaborating like this?
Well, Dave has a lot of stories to tell with this character. He's been working with Ahsoka for over a decade, starting off with collaborating when Ahsoka was just a little Padawan with George Lucas. And now all of it, seeing all of it come to fruition is really quite a treat. This is they're about to start shooting in, about a week?
A week, yeah, maybe less.
In about a week, and
man,
the sets are all built and the costumes are made, and it's going to be spectacular.
Oh, how are you feeling, Rosario? You getting hyped?
Oh my God, I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling ready. Very excited.
I gotta tell you, Rosario.
Pretty cool.
You know, like everybody who's a fan of Star Wars, I love the beautiful choreography of the fights and of all the physical work. And I have to say, to the 3 of you, I think the duel between you and Diana Lee Inosanto is maybe one of the top fight scenes in all of Star Wars. What did y'all think about that fight?
It was such a tease in The Mandalorian to fight with her, and I remember her with the staff, and every time she'd come in and that ting before she went into the movement, and her history and working with
And
the
Kenobi,
family of Bruce
Anakin.
Lee and
she's
all of
one of the
his-
greats.
I mean, it made the entire experience just feel so real and masterful. So to be able to play with her again in Ahsoka was just such a dream come true.
Yeah, and it must have been fun for you as somebody who came up in theater, and you are just an amazing dancer, performer. That must have been an amazing thing to jump into these sort of intense fight scenes too, and use all of that training.
I love getting to this point now where I've been using my left hand to eat with chopsticks now, because I've become so ambidextrous. It's like secondhand. My daughter's a lefty, and so she would watch me in the beginning, but now it's actually something I gesticulate with my left hand. And anytime I'm doing any training and I do too much with one arm, the other arm wants to kind of come in. I'm so used to doing the stances with both, and I love that because it's we didn't have that guaranteed. We were getting a second season, and if I could tell anything to myself, it was like, don't stop training, believe, have faith, because getting back into it has just been so intense. But I love that muscle memory that's come in. It's I really was talking about it. Those first initial fights with Diana. It's going on like 6 years.
You're a Jedi now, baby.
Yeah, it feels really, really good. Yeah, it feels good.
no longer a Jedi.
And it's nice because again, Anakin, Hayden's very
my
heavy-handed,
God.
so it was good to have all that practice and rehearsal.
And Hayden, we had Hayden out on the first day, and he was talking about how wonderful it was to be doing this with you, because y'all came up together in theater school. You've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah, we knew each other as teenagers. I have to say that's like my favorite Star Wars moment was going and seeing the prequels and seeing him in them, because I had met him as a teenager, seen him in acting class, knew what such a lovely human being he was. So the work he put into coming off as this Darth Lord was incredible.
awesome.
And I remember just thinking like how magical. I could have never imagined that this amazing young man who had come from Canada to do acting class, Scarlett Johansson was in the class just behind us. I met her when she was 10.
What?
And, yeah.
Took big
And
there.
so to see him on the stage and on the screen, and then to be able to have him come back and play with him, I think it was one of the most incredible moments for Dave to see that we've known each other and there's a history, there's actual photographs of us young, embracing each other and loving on each other. So I think it's really special because that's
seen some of
one
those
part of
pictures.
the
That's pretty
aspect that
cool.
we just do not have to pretend.
Yeah.
That relationship is very deeply embedded there, and I'm so grateful he's coming back for the second season.
We missed the panel earlier. They were talking about it.
Amazing.
Also
And
pretty cool.
Dave, this is a character, Anakin
Admiral
is a
Akbar
character
versus
that
Thrawn
you
in season
have been
2.
working with since Go at Lucasfilm. We've been talking about the 20th anniversary of Lucasfilm Animation this year. And one of your big jobs and sort of one of your guiding lights of Clone Wars was to show the empathy for Anakin Skywalker. And how has it been to kind of be able to continue that story into live action and keep making these stories about that character?
Yeah, I think a very clear line I draw from myself, though, is that Anakin's story was already told. George did that. I don't have to add anything to that. I don't have to explain anything about it.
Good job.
What George did is what he wanted, and it's perfect. The story I'm telling is about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
The reason why Anakin can be
He's
in
a
this
part
is
of it.
because he's relative to her story.
Yep.
But I'm very careful in what I'm doing, that I'm not, changing or adjusting anything that George did. I understand a lot of it because I work with George, and we work together. When we did the Clone Wars, it was very much the goal of saying, well, how was Anakin challenged? How does he get from where he is in 2 to 3? And I had George with me to tell that story. So I was very confident in anything I was doing that he was there to put guardrails on it.
Yeah.
Through that, I developed a really good understanding of the character, and I watched George sit there and create dialogue. George would come in, I'd meet him at like 7 in the morning. He's an early guy. Reading the paper, I'd get him up at Big Rock Ranch and then would walk over to the editorial room. And we would spend all day from like 8 in the morning then to like 11 at night editing episodes of the Clone Wars. And we would sit there and rewrite dialogue together, hit pitch dialogue. We'd try it out in the cut, we'd watch it. And I just saw the love that he had for his characters, but I also saw how he crafted it. And so I've kept that through today, but it was a real gift to watch him create these lines. And you're just sitting there and you go, yeah, That's the guy that, right? Every line you know, do or not, there is no try. Who's more foolish, fool follows him. Like all of these things that you grew up and it sticks with you. And I saw it happen. And so I just carried that forward and said, this is Anakin, the young man who wanted to be a teacher a bit, who had a responsibility. Her whole goal was, as a youngling, though she didn't know it, was to try to keep him on a path and let him let go of her, that he would learn to let go of attachments by having a student, that Yoda and Obi-Wan thought maybe Anakin will get it then, that she can grow up and take care of herself. But he never really fully realizes that in the end because he cares about her so much. That's Anakin's thing. He's compassionate, and he turns that compassion, but he tries to hold on too tight to people around him, and then it turns into anger because he's not trusting people enough. He's not trusting them and their own instincts enough. He's a good person that ends up doing very bad things. And that's something that we've talked a long time about. Like Ahsoka's a good person, but that doesn't mean she's not incapable of doing bad things. We're all capable of that. And so that's the lesson of a Jedi. That was it mean to be a Jedi, to let go and let your selfless persona take over and learn that doing things for other people feels better and is better ultimately than doing things for yourself.
Yes.
So that's what Jedi should focus on. Yes.
And in the first season, you really did, I feel like all of the characters did learn a certain amount of that lesson, right? The entire crew was thrown together sort of against their will. You have Ezra, who is trying to take care of things but needed help himself. All of these characters coming back together. How did that feel to kind of like bring those relationships with those other characters to life and sort of go through those lessons?
I mean, I think really incredible. There were so many different pinch me moments that we were having on set, about how perfectly cast everybody was. I mean, Natasha is Sabine.
Yes.
Like, it is really crazy. And, and to have her be someone where we get to see an evolution in their relationship, that was something that we talk about. And I love hearing you say what you're, the dynamic between Ahsoka and Anakin. It's something that she leads with immediately with Sabine. As Sabine is trying so hard to be a Jedi and trying so hard that Hu Yang is also giving her a really hard time about. She's trying so hard, but what, Ahsoka has learned and is trying to pass on to her is that you just have to be you. Like, bring who you are to this, and that's something that she had to develop and learn about herself. And I think that's one of the things that's so beautiful about what this generation of characters, as rebels, in the animation coming here, this resonates generationally in such a different way as folks who didn't just follow the status quo and follow along in the journey that the path that was just given before them. They're making a very strong individual choices, and they're doing it with attachment as a family, as friends. And I think it adds a whole other different quality and dimension that I think is incredibly relevant to today and how we see ourselves, and not just going by what we think we're supposed to do, but what we know in our heart we need to do.
Yes.
And that's something that, I think we all grapple with in the choices that we make and the repercussions that can come from that. It's what makes it so alive. And all of us are a part of it, just take it so seriously because we love these characters. We love the journey that they've been on, and the fact that it continues is absolutely magical. And again, I'm just going to say over and over again, probably, thank you to all the fans. When we couldn't promote the first season, you were there at premieres around the world. We didn't even get told about it. I watched it on spring up on social media. It's because of you that we get to have this second season, and you all recognize and know that a title, it's not about a title. You don't need the title to be a Jedi. I am no Jedi. You are a Jedi in how you choose to be, and all of you live it every single day. And it's been so beautiful being here just before we start filming a week from now and having this energy. I'm going to bring it back to the whole crew and the cast when we start next week.
Amazing. And something that I do think is wonderful is you are taking familiar characters. We are seeing the way that they've grown, but you did something very interesting at the end of last season. It's always been a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and now it is galaxies far, far away. There was such a huge shock, and I feel like this is one of those things where you're dropping a pebble in the water, and you're waiting to see how it ripples. What made you go to a
Opening a
different
huge
galaxy
door,
at the end of
man.
last season?
I didn't go. Ezra went, and that wasn't my fault. Like, I didn't know. It took a while to find him. I said, "What are you doing over there?" But it's in certain star charts, so it's not like I made that up. If you pay attention in the movies, you'll actually see it. And so I'm actually referencing something that was there already. It makes sense. I mean, there are other galaxies, so why not? It was a good place to hide him. Everyone kept looking on the map. I'm like, yeah, he's not there. So that was like, I have to have my own fun with everyone because they have fun with me, and that's fair. I just thought it was interesting because I wanted to show there was something very different. I wanted to change the visual dynamic a bit. And so there's a lot of new things that we'll encounter when we're there. So it serves a purpose. It delves into a deeper thing that I like about Star Wars, which is like when they're in the Yavin Temple, well, whoa, what's that about? What's that building about? What does that mean? How are they inheriting that? Ralph McQuarrie did a bunch of paintings of like really old things. Star Wars has a rich, deep history where you feel it's been there for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So I started asking, well, what happened thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago? Are the witches something that preceded the Jedi?
Right.
Is that why they don't like the Jedi? Are they a different culture in the way they look at the Force? Do they interact with it in a different way? And so you start to draw on like real things and how religions come in and destroy other religions and different things, you know, come over top of each other and destroy things. And in a history of a galaxy, of course you would have that. So you start asking yourself to look at all of these relationships in a different way. And being in a different galaxy affords me the ability to really take big swings and not interfere with the galaxy that we
Disney's
know.
looking at it like,
And so I can take
opportunity.
chances. And you will see things you've never seen before. You will encounter things that you've never seen
Clean
before.
slate. I mean,
and I find that really exciting. And as much as we're doing that on one side of the story, there's another side of the story that will be very familiar to you as a big... I'll just say what it is because they came all this way and I know what they really want to talk about, which is what's in season 2. So half of it is a really, really big battle.
Yeah.
There is going to be a war in our Star Wars, like an all-out throwdown on a scale, as best as I can do it, as best as John and I can afford it. Because we want that,
Disney can afford anything.
and
Come on.
Thrawn will be involved. We will see a lot more of him.
Thrawn
You'll see a
v.
lot
Admiral
more of
Akbar.
Ezra. You'll see a lot more of Hera is gonna get back into it, and she'll be much more directly part of the action. Because you guys made such a big deal about it, I put a lot more Chopper in, and so
that
a lot more
droid.
Chopper. And because of the way you guys are about it, he does some really messed up stuff. I don't know why he does these things, but they all seem to like it. And then because you guys asked for it, and because John's been playing with him so much and I want my toy back, we put Zeb and Ahsoka now. So you get the whole action figure series, the whole play set's available to you in season 2.
hearing that. Star
And it's going to be a lot of
Wars.
fun. And you have been training really hard. I've been watching. So get ready for that because it's exciting when we see what you're going to do.
I cannot wait. Is there anything that you would like to say to the fans before we go? I know that you have seen over the last couple years how important this character is and how wonderful Ahsoka is.
I just, it's so interesting, actually being able
Ahsoka,
to
top 5
experience it
characters,
firsthand.
at least.
I remember
Probably
being at a
top
con
3.
many years ago, and Carrie Fisher was there. And it was so beautiful because it was like this whole group of people, and we all wrapped for the night. All the booths were shutting down, and she was sitting in this chair with fans wrapped still around the entire area, like auditorium. And she stayed there with her little dog on her lap, signing for everybody. And I remember just like it was so palpable to everyone as we were walking around. We kept saying like, "There's nothing like the family of Star Wars," and this energy and the beauty. It was just so beautiful. And for me, I couldn't have ever imagined that in some way, shape, or form, Princess Leia and I would fangirl over each other and have the same moment. But I saw her later that night, and I talked to her about it. And she kind of was like with her dog and kind of like, okay, I'm tired, And I was like, cool, and I walked away and I went to leave her alone. And I'll never forget this moment. My uncle's a comic book artist, and we were together, and he was inside the hotel. And as I walked through, he was standing inside and his eyes got really big. And I turned around and she came running back in and was like, my assistant just told me who you were, and reminded me of like this project that I loved you in, and she just started like gushing, and I remember I started tearing up and just going, this is not the way this is supposed to go. Like, this is just, the adulation is all for you. And I could never, watching Hayden on the big screen, meeting her, getting to work with Mark Hamill, like there's just so many moments that are some of the most precious moments I've ever had in my career. And now as a fan, because I wouldn't be doing this character if it wasn't for the fans. Boss Logic did a picture of me as a fan cast. All of you guys posted it. He saw it. I ended up getting the cast. Like, there's so much about it. When we couldn't promote this show, you promoted it and made it possible for us to have our second season. You bring this world to life every single day. You live it and breathe it. It is not just a fantasy. It is a way of life. And I really, really appreciate the passion and love that you bring to it, because that is what inspires us every single day on set.
Oh my goodness.
So this is your show. Star Wars has always been about all of you.
Most of
always. Intergenerationally.
Most of
That's so wonderful.
So thank you.
I know they feel the same way about all of you. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you for talking, Ahsoka. We have even more Star Wars Celebration Live coming up. Let's check it out, shall we? Hey,
That's
one
awesome.
more round of applause for
a lot of great things from that. Especially half of season 2 is going to be a battle. Can you believe it? Or is it going to be like battle in the background and then we'll see. But I do like hearing Admiral Akbar versus Admiral Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn. It'd be fun to shoot that cannon. Careful. I'll be back, but I'll leave this running. All right, what do we got next? What's next? Is that inside? It's gotta be. Is this Jedi Survivor music? It sounds like that. It looks like they gave a trailer for season 2 of it.
Make some noise. 3,
Well, no, it's not a trailer. It's
The art of voice acting is a skill that our next guests are no stranger to. Both with 20 years of experience under their belts, they provide the Japanese dubbing for Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker in the Ahsoka series. Let's give it up for Daisuke Namikawa and Shizuka Ito.
Ahsoka Live. Is this some fighting? Oh, did you see Dark Talon making a Dark Talon has entered the chat with the mall show?
よろしくお願いします。
I was looking.
スター・ウォーズ・セレブレーションへのご参加は今回が初めてですか？
浪川です。アナキン・スカイウォーカーのボイスアクターやってます。よろしくお願いいたします。
Voice acting.
この劇すごいですね。初めてなんですけども参加させていただいて。
初参加で。
初参加です。はい。
私もアソカタノのボイスアクター伊藤静香です。私も初めてで、もうなんか幸せ空間ですね。
お楽しみいただき、
ハッピーです。
お楽しみいただけて何よりです。
はい。
どのくらい前からスター・ウォーズの作品に出会いましたか？
そうですね。僕はアナキンをやって25年ぐらい経つので、それぐらい前から。はい。
すごいですね。
そうですね。はい。
私もアソーカに出会ったのが15年以上前なので、はい、その時に初めてアソーカに出会って、スター・ウォーズはそれまで実はちゃんと見たことがなかったんですけど、そうなんです。でもアソーカに出会ってアソーカを演じるようになって一気にハマってしまいました。
もう大ファンだと、
はい、
ご自身のライトセーバーをお持ちしてるということは、もう
マイライトセーバーです。
そう、マイライトセーバー。
素晴らしいです。ポーズでもしますか？
ポーズ。いや恥ずかしいです。
いや。
It's a Black Series one.
May the Force be with you.
I do not have a service.
かっこ
いい。いや恥ずかしい。ありがとうございます。いやいいですね、スター・ウォーズ。はい。
アナキン・スカイウォーカー、そしてアソーカ・タノーという非常に人気の高いキャラを演じてられますが、この役が初めて挑まれた時、どのようなお気持ちでしたか？
最初はアナキンってすごく天才で可愛らしくてピュアでっていう感じだったので、普通の青年がっていうところだったんですが、やっぱダークサイドに落ちた時からやっぱり顔つき目つき全てが変わってって、それでもなんか寂しさとか、なんかそういうのをちゃんとヘイデン・クリステンセンがすごく上手に素晴らしいお芝居をされてたんで、そこは丁寧にやりたいなとは思ってました。
素晴らしいです。
はい、アソーカは本当に少女時代にアナキンの元にやってきて、生意気にずっと修行を続けてたんですけども、そこからずっと少女から、大人になって今ロザリオが演じてるアソーカまでずっと吹き替えをやらせてもらっているので、なんかこうアソーカと一緒に私も成長してきてるなって思ってますし、こうね、さっきアソーカのパネルでシーズン2も発表されたので、それも本当に楽しみです。
Shizuka-san just mentioned that Ahsoka Season 2 is announced, so let's give it up! 声優というお仕事の中で特に魅力を感じていらっしゃる点はどこですか？
声優の魅力ですか？
はい。
声優の魅力、そうですね、よーく観察できるんで、自分のアナキンとかヘイデン・クリステンセンとかをずっと見ることができるんで、だからこんなに人の顔を見ることがないぐらい見て、それでこうスター・ウォーズのようにこうやって世界中から愛される作品に参加できるっていうのは、まあ、声優冥利に尽きるというか、声優やっててよかったなって思います。はい、
いいですね。
そうですね、声優って年をとっても声がちゃんと出れば 今でも少女時代のアソーカの声もやりますし、一気に急にその大人のアソーカもやりますし、それができるっていうのは声優の強みだなと思うし、声優、ね、いくら例えば私が、60、70になってもこの声を保ち続ければずっと演じていけるっていうのはすごい声優の面白いとこでもあるし、でその分人生を重ねた分、そのお芝居にも深みが出てくるようになるのかなって思うので、積み重ねられるっていうのはすごくいいことかなと思います。
すごいです。グッときました。
ありがとうございます。
ヘイデン・クリステンセンさんとロザリオ・ドーソンさんのパネルをご覧になっていかがでしたか？
いやーすごいスタッフの皆さんも俳優陣も愛がね溢れてましたし、
すごかった。お話止まらないしね。
止まらないし、ヘイデン・クリステンセンの色気がすごい。
かっこよかった。
ね、もうすごすぎる。
ロザリオもすごい素敵だし、さっきステージ終わって私出てくる時にすれ違って挨拶させてもらったんですけど、失神するかと思いました。
本当にすごい素晴らしいみんな、はい、
あともうお客さんのこの盛り上がり、ステージ見てるお客さんの盛り上がりも本当にすごくって、
いやすごい、本当みんなが「スター・ウォーズ」大好きっていうのが、すごいフォースの力を感じた。
感じる、満ちてる。ここはフォースに満ちてる。
そしてファンが心待ちにしているアソーカシーズン2へのご期待をぜひお話しいただけますか？
さっきね
ヘイデンがカムバック言ってたんでアナキン出るかもしれない。まだわかんないです。僕も何にも知らないんで何にもわからないですけどワクワクしちゃってますでもまあアソーカ2を見れるっていうことも楽しみですので、
そうですね。もうアソーカの1を見た方はほとんどの方が見ていらっしゃると思いますが、エズラを助けて、星に残ってしまってあの後どうなるのかもそうですし、1の時にアナキンとあれは狭間の世界なのか精神世界なのかはちょっと明言はされてないのでわからないですけど、でもああやって会ったことでまた自分とサビーヌとの関係も変わってくると思うし、でそういうところを描かれてそれをまた演じられるのかと思うと、もう今から興奮で眠れない日が続きそうです。
お楽しみです。2人とも今日はどうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。
Thank you for joining us. We are just getting started here at Star Wars Celebration Live, so don't go away.
Getting started. We'll see how much longer we stay on, but they're just gonna go. Almost 1:30. We're on now.
Hello there. I'm at the Bandai Spirit show floor with none other than Obi. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for coming to say hi.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, tell us what you have going on at the Bandai Spirits booth.
Cool. So for those of you who don't know us, this is Bandai Spirit's Tamashi Nations division, and we have just a whole bunch of action figures from the Star Wars lineup. We have basically every item we've ever released from a bunch of series that you can come check out. Some of those are available for purchase around the back. We also have world first exclusive, never seen before, that you can just come and check out. Stuff that's coming up. It's just a great series. Articulation, detail, everything's amazing, and we would love for you to come and check it out here in Hall 3.
Fantastic. And can I just ask you a personal question?
Go for it.
Is it just fate that your name is Obi?
Oh, I know, right? Like, to be doing this and having this. And I do want to say just a quick off story. In Japan, the word for dogs, the barking is one. So I have a dog. So my dog is Obi-Wan.
Oh my God, worlds collide.
And it's so great. It's just a great place to be working, and it's a great place to be here with everyone.
That's amazing, Obi. I love it. All right, so the Bandai Spirits booth, we have so much more going on. We're going to take a walk a little bit to the other side and look at our plastic model kits. Now we're on the other side of the Bandai Spirits booth with Taro-san. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Can you please tell us a little bit about the event exclusive plastic models?
Dash Rendar is coming out too.
今日この会場で買える商品がこちらでございます。まずクローントルーパーを、1つ買うと、この7つのクローントルーパーが再現できるセットと R2D2 と X ウィングがセットになった商品が まずはエクスクルーシブの商品でございます。で、続いてポイントの2つ目です。なんとこの会場で初お披露目になった N1 スターファイターのプラモデルがあるので、それもぜひチェックしてみてください。で、さらにポイントの3つ目です。なんとこの会場にはプラモデルを射出成形するインジェクションマシンが来ておりますので、そこでプラモデルがどうやって作られるのかがその場で見れますので、ぜひバンダイスピリッツのブースにお越しください。
Yeah, it's Cal Kestis, Turgle, and Scruvestead. Okay, so you get an alternate head.
Back in 2021, Light of the Jedi launched fans into 3 phases of the High Republic, introducing us to a whole new era of Star Wars. Here to tell us more about the current goings-on and the upcoming end, awesome. We have Lydia Kang, Tessa Grattan, and Lissa Wong. Thank you so much for joining me today. How is it being back at Star Wars Celebration? Wide-eyed.
This is actually my first time.
Your first, Tessa.
And I'm completely losing my mind.
Same.
Yeah, I don't even remember what my expectations were. They've been so far surpassed.
Absolutely. How about you, Alyssa?
This is remarkable. Like, everyone is so excited and so happy. I don't know, it's amazing. And also, it's my first time in Japan.
Wow, welcome. I hope you enjoy it.
It's amazing.
And Lydia, how about you? What is it like being back?
Oh my God, it's amazing. This is my second celebration. My last one was in London.
Very international.
I've loved seeing some
States,
familiar
please.
faces here. I'm loving the energy and just the Star Wars love. It's been fantastic.
Let's just jump right into it. What can fans expect from the end of the High Republic? Without spoiling it, which is hard, I know.
Lots of surprises, heartbreak, I must say.
Yeah, it's going to be very intense. We've been building this up for years, and it's so special to finally get the chance to bring it all to fruition. I can't wait to see how people are going to react, because it's been a journey for us too, and it's been so special.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that must be so exciting to know that it's coming to an end and to actually put it all together finally. How about you, Lydia?
Oh, it's really exciting. It's kind of surreal that after all these years and putting all these stories together and intertwining them, that we're coming to the end. So it's really bittersweet. I think fans can definitely expect that. If you guys know the High Republic, you know it's always a roller coaster ride, and so we plan on taking you on the steepest of roller coaster rides. So just, cinch the belt in, get ready. We're gonna go.
Buckle in.
Some of the books are really good, though.
Now, this is a little bit of a curveball, but what about the High Republic have you not written that you like or are excited about?
Oh, I am super excited. I'm just gonna jump in there.
Absolutely.
Is that
please.
okay?
Yes.
I am so excited for Tessa's book that's coming out, The Crystal Crown. More Jord, more, everything from the Acolyte that I wanted more of, I get the view from before. So I'm super excited about that book. Cannot wait.
Yeah. I can't wait for Trials of the Jedi to come out. I've read some early versions, but I can't wait to have that final version in my hand and read the hardcover. And it's the culmination of everything that we've been working for.
I think the last book will be really good.
I don't really know quite what it's going to feel like, but I think I might cry a little.
It's okay. Crying is absolutely welcome.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry so much, I'll be honest. I'm just going to ugly sob everywhere. This is a bit of a curveball answer too, but I'm really excited to see how the fans react. They've been so invested. We've seen so many people wearing High Republic cosplay, which is incredible.
They look amazing.
And all of these bracelets I'm wearing, I had to put them on both arms because I ran out of room on one arm. But those are all from fans who came and brought us bracelets because they were just so happy, and they had so many feelings about the stories that we've been writing. And so, as someone who also has a lot of feelings about the stories we've been writing, it's very rewarding, and I hope that they enjoy a very explosive ending.
Explosive. explosive ending. Oh, can't wait. That sounds so, so exciting. Lydia, you've been writing the exploits of Joss and Pika Adren. What can fans expect in their final clash in the Neil? And how has your day job played a role?
Well, the day job comes in very handy. So as a doctor, I was like, should we put a little bit of a medical emergency into the chaos of the ending? And the answer is yes, I will be doing that. Also, being sort of a biology nerd, I get to play around with Mon Calamari biological sort of background, and so I have a little bit of a horror moment with a Mon Calamari and water and maybe some Nile being pulled into the water, so it's going to be great. Like I said, roller coaster stuff.
Incredible. Fascinating to have a biologically, scientifically accurate sense of that.
Exactly.
Amazing. Doctor approved. Alyssa, speaking of the Neil, the Battle of Eriadu one-shot plays a pretty key role in the battle. What can you tell us about that, and why are the drill ships so key? The overpowered drill ships so key.
Oh my god, I love a drill ship. The drill ships are so cool. The eviscerators are basically war crimes in ship form that have been outlawed for over a century because they are just too scary and dangerous. They're ships that are built to be indestructible and rip other ships in half. So you get to do a lot of really interesting battle choreography with that. I love a ship that can rip another ship in half, and that's not something I knew I wanted before going in, and now I'm like, I need it desperately.
I think maybe you wanted it. You did say explosive before. It seems like that's like totally in your realm.
I do love a wild action scene. Like I adore a wild action scene.
We all do. We all do.
The Battle of Eriadu one shot is really fun. It's a story that's very near and dear to my heart. It is about a pair of childhood friends, former best friends who end up on opposite sides of the war. One is a Jedi, one is a Nile, and they're both like young teenagers too. So they've been separated by the war, and they are being hurled back together for a reunion that is either going to fix things, or rip them into pieces.
Would you say it's explosive?
I would say it's probably pretty explosive. I mean, yeah, this is a story that we started building in Escape from Valo, which was the first middle grade novel of the High Republic Phase 3, this final phase. And we've been following their story through comics, through prose, and they're characters that mean a lot to me.
The novels are...
So I am I cried a lot while writing this, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. It's probably fine. Just a couple of kids ripped apart by war. It's probably fine.
I'm sure everybody's going to cry reading it. Exactly what you want.
Crying is like part of the writing process.
Of course.
It happens.
Not my cup of tea.
Many tears are shed. Like, no joke. Seriously, when we were
writing
writing
I've yet to read Phase 3, but
so,
I know
Tessa,
Dustin's
you're
read
going
the
further
first one.
down
He said it's
the
good.
High Republic timeline with the Crystal Crown. What are Padawans Yord
Crystal
and Jeki
Crown.
up
This makes me think
to?
of Indiana Jones.
They are mostly trying to avoid each other. Jeki knows that she's not really allowed to have a least favorite fellow Padawan, but if she did have a least favorite fellow Padawan, it would be Yord.
Did you think that their chemistry in Acolyte was like exactly how you imagined it?
I was really excited. I was writing the book while the show was airing, actually, so it was neat to play with what, the character concepts that I had been given, and then watch how they interacted and be like, oh, I got to make a joke about that. I got to make a joke about that. Definitely lots of, why is Jeki so concerned about Yord steaming his shirt? And then, of course, about halfway through writing, I started making a lot of jokes about death. Mostly for my own therapy.
Amazing. I really loved their like almost sibling rivalry, but it was masqueraded in so many other complexities in the show that you almost couldn't tell, like, is one of them bad?
I think George Lucas just
I love
really
that. And I think that's thanks to your writing. What does Star Wars, and more specifically the High Republic, mean to each of you? Lydia?
Oh gosh. We are all the Republic. I mean, that I think is like the heart of these stories, is that every one of us, we can find ourselves in each of these characters. And there's so many universalities to the different storylines, to the different people. There's something there for everyone. And I feel like the High Republic has just been so like welcoming that way, just not even just as a writer, but for fans, for everything. So yeah, it's been everything, really.
Love that. Alyssa?
For me, it's potential. It's so rare to get to build new, interesting, completely fresh people, locations, storylines in a much beloved property. It's cool. It feels like living in Star Wars, and I think in that sense, because we've had so many people come up to us and tell us, hey, the High Republic means so much to me. I feel like I've seen myself in Star Wars for the first time. I think for me, the High Republic is about community. It's been amazing to see people come together around what we've built and build something of their own. And that's so special.
Absolutely so special. I mean, clearly, community. Look at everybody out here. And Tessa, what does the High Republic mean?
Everyone should feel like they belong in Star Wars.
I've been a lifelong Star Wars
100%.
fan because my parents were huge Star Wars fans, and I didn't really think that I would ever write for Star Wars. It just didn't occur to me that that was a path that I would take despite loving it as a fan. But I think that my mom always kind of wanted me to. And unfortunately, she died right before I started writing for the High Republic. But being able to, always think my mom loved Star Wars. What did she love about Star Wars? And it was the Jedi, and the High Republic is, the golden era of the Jedi. And so really being able to put everything that she loved and that, she helped me love into the High Republic it's been life-changing, and everyone, like all the fans, everyone is just adds to that. So
that was so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Your mom is so, so proud of you. Oh, thank you ladies so much for joining me.
Thank you.
We are all the Republic. Thank you for everybody for Light and Life. If you want to keep watching for even more Star Wars Celebration live.
I mean, I'm ready to read Phase 3.
The machinations of the Empire are vast and unknowable. And here at the Dark Empire, they are running a ramen shop.
Ramen shop?
Teresa, is there a reason?
Yum.
What is the Empire up to?
Making ramen.
I mean, if we told you, we'd have to kill you. So yes, absolutely not. This is Unkokoman. Welcome to Bachimaku and Kokoman, the dark side. Come to the dark side. We have ramen.
Peter, this place looks wonderful. Tell me about the idea for the Dark Empire running a ramen shop.
Well, actually, Brian, the CEO of the Japanese garrison, his first idea when he created this Bachimaku town, his first thing he thought about and wanted was a ramen shop. So he presented it to us and we're like, yeah, we can run with that.
Amazing.
And so we have the ramen shop during the day, and after hours, it becomes a haven of the underworld.
I want some of
they
those
come to pick up their bounty from the bounty wall and then gamble away with Sabak and Kazak.
Amazing. And you have some wonderful details here. Your bounty wall and some of your scrolls here are actually members of your...
Yes, so Peter had done the lion's share of all of our art for us. And all the posters that you see are taken from members' approvals.
Look at that one in the background.
Turned into Japanese-style art.
It's amazing. And some of the other details you have here are wonderful. I love that you've got everybody's cards that you can pick up. I love that there's full food out here.
Yes, and our travel posters. So there's little missives on the wall. So if anybody wants to stop by and take the time to read our walls, there's written in Sith Common or Aurebesh.
Far left, the one on top.
Translator cards for you.
Really
if you
cool.
want to take the time to read them, there's some fun quotes on those walls.
And in addition to kind of coming here and uncovering the lore, Peter, what can people do here at the booth?
Well, they can pick up, we do have chopsticks giveaway, custom Dark Empire featuring Darth Ramen. And they can also listen to custom music that we've made to our member approval photos as well. And look at all the Sith relics.
From Target.
And then, as Teresa said, read all the missives and read the Sith code on the wall.
So come on by the Dark Empire, get your stamp, and take a look at some of the wonderful things they have here. Peter, Teresa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Ankokuman and Celebration 2025.
Welcome indeed.
Thank you.
As DetBlock is here live, watching Star Wars Celebration live in Tokyo, Japan.
Where are all my comic fans at?
What? I missed it. What fans?
We're here to chat all things Marvel Comics with CB
Marvel.
Cebulski, Mark Guggenheim, and Ethan Sachs. Welcome, everybody.
What about Dark Horse?
Konnichiwa. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. Now, I know it's been a pretty exciting 2 days of Star Wars Celebration Japan for all of you.
For
CB,
Star Wars.
Marvel is in the process of relaunching all of the Star Wars titles, which sounds easy.
Vader,
like, that's just
though,
a regular
that was
Tuesday
pretty
for you,
good.
I imagine.
Maul was pretty good.
What can fans expect from the legacy of Vader?
Marvel's been publishing with Lucasfilm now for 10 years. It's great to be back, and doing the comics with the characters we love so much. The first kind of iteration was between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Then it was between Empire Strikes and Jedi. Now we're moving on past Jedi. So now we all know what happened to Darth Vader there and what's going on. So we really couldn't tell a Vader book. But exploring the legacy of Vader through Kylo Ren's eyes is extremely important. Kylo, everybody knows and loves Kylo Ren, yes? All right.
Yeah.
So,
Kylo fans.
as he becomes the character that we know and love, he had a lot of questions about his past, his grandfather, why did his grandfather do what he did, and The Legacy of Vader by Charles Soule and Luke Ross really goes back and explores what Kylo did, where he went to follow his grandfather's legacy, and it's just an amazingly written book that fans will love.
Ooh, I cannot wait. And please tell me what is next for one of my favorites, Dr. Aphra.
I like
Dr.
Aphra. Good stuff.
Oh, wow. It's always a thrill for us when one of the characters that we created in the Marvel Comics takes on such a life with all the fans. She's even an action figure out there. But Dr. Aphra is going to be relaunching with a new number one, Dr. Aphra Chaos Agent. Again, exploring a different part of her life by Cheris Chen. And it's just going to be a wonderful book that puts Aphra in a light you haven't seen before. She's always got that shades of gray. Is she good? Is she bad? And this is going to explore a little bit of her younger life before she became the character that everybody knows and loves.
But she's always been chaotic, I imagine.
The title really, really fits the character, as the fans know.
It really does.
Yeah.
All right, and anything from the Star Wars flagship, too.
Oh, the Star Wars flagship. We're so thrilled with what's going on in that book. Star Wars is traditionally associated with May. It's when the movies always come out, May the 4th. So, with no theatrical release this year, Lucasfilm said, why don't you guys take it? Let the comic be the flagship. Let's launch like we're just doing a big movie. And it's going to follow all the characters, Luke, Leia, Hans, 3PO, Lando, R2, post-Jedi and what happened in that era. Leading up to some of the stuff that we know and love through some of the new series and the new movies that we've seen. Yeah. And it's really just for fans of that character. We're exploring places that have never been explored before. Lucasfilm said, why don't you look at this? And why don't you talk about this? And we went, wait, you're going to let us tell those stories? They're like, go wild. So, Alex Segura is right in that book. And it's just going to be a real masterpiece that I think Star Wars fans are going to love, expanding on the canon.
Oh, I cannot wait to read all of those.
Thank you.
And that's not even everything that Marvel's working on right now.
These gentlemen have something to talk
Mark,
about, too.
That's right.
Yes.
You're writing Jedi Knights, which is just wall-to-wall Jedi lightsaber action, I imagine. Which Jedi has been the most challenging to write for you?
That's a really good question. I guess Mace Windu, actually. Mace is like, he's such a man of few words, but when he speaks, it's like, it carries a lot of import, and like finding that balance, too much, too little, that's been hard for me.
All right, fair. Yeah, and also I feel like when you read it in Samuel L. Jackson's voice, like you gotta not swear in the comic.
It's very, well, I'll write the swear words in and then I take them out before I hit send on the email.
Wise, that's very wise. Which team up has been the most fun for you?
Ooh, it's funny. I just did the lettering draft for issue 5, where it's basically really a team up between Yaddle and Count Dooku, and that was it's a blast because it ties directly into the Tales of the Jedi episode where spoiler alert, Dooku killed Yaddle, and Yaddle's in a position where, obviously before she's killed, to save Dooku's life. So it's one of those like, this decision is not going to work out too well for you, Yaddle.
Listen, you had me at more Yaddle.
I love Yaddle. Writing her is so much fun.
Love Yaddle.
High Republic.
And a spoiler, if you will, who's trying to kill Qui-Gon Jinn?
I can't tell you that.
Come on, I thought we
I
were
can tell you the name of the
buds.
character, but
All right.
well, his name is Corlys Wrath, and I actually have the issues 9 and 10 will be our first like sort of true two-parter, and it takes place in like 2 different time periods, and takes you back to Qui-Gon's Padawan days.
Okay.
And that will
Adorable.
answer the question of who is Corlys Wrath and why he's trying to kill Kylo.
All right. And earlier today, speaking of Jedi I love, Keller and Beck himself, Ahmed Best, stopped by to talk about all the amazing work that he's done. You revealed that Kelleran is actually going to be featured in issue 8 this October. So what can fans expect from that particular issue and from how you've written Keller and Beck?
Well, I have to say, issue 8's probably my favorite of the issues thus far. It's all told literally through the eyes of this youngling that is brought into the Jedi Order, and spoiler, Kelleran ends up saving her life. And so he's got some, because that's what he does, right?
That is what he does.
And he's just got some really cool, badass Jedi moments in it.
Amazing. All right, I can't wait. Can't wait to read that. I hope he does a lot of martial arts and amazing moves. And
He's got some moves, and
he has got some moves. We know that. We know Keller and Beck's got some moves, right? Yeah. All right, Ethan, you've been so patiently just waiting down there for your turn. I appreciate it. What is Beyond Victory, and how did this collaboration come together?
Before I answer that, I just want to say, Kono Gingake de Saikyo de Saiko no Star Wars fan no minasan o genki desu ka?
Oh, sure.
Total pandering, but
Love it.
in answer to your question, though, it came together quickly because this is a mixed experience, mixed reality experience that is in the works, is absolutely amazing. It involves pod racing, it involves criminal intrigue.
From our friends at ILM.
Friends from ILM and MetaQuest. And I'm pleased to announce, by the way, that tomorrow at 2 o'clock at the MetaQuest ILM booth, just down that way,
Central.
myself, Shogo Aoki, Steve Cummings, 2 of the 3 artists on the book will be doing a signing, and the comics are free. So please stop by tomorrow at 2 o'clock and get your signed copies. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And that's only available here.
Only available here.
Only available to fans in Japan. Ethan, pod racing is such a visual, visceral sport that we know and love from The Phantom Menace and a few other choice places that we got to experience it, including Beyond Victory very soon. But how did you approach getting that speed and intensity onto the page in a comic book form?
Well, I cheated because I had 3 great artists, the 2 I mentioned, and Will Sliney, who's my brother from another mother. We worked together on Halcyon Legacy and Galaxy's Edge.
Halcyon fans in the house?
Halcyon fans. So he works fast. He works almost as fast as a pod. So between the 3 of them, we got it covered. It looks really great.
Oh, I can only imagine right now, but for folks on the floor, you can grab a copy over at the ILM Meta booth and see for yourself. All right. Just one more question to wrap us up here, because I know you all have a lot of comics to get finished before those can all be in our grabby hands here.
Right after this.
So what does it mean to you to be here in this moment with all these wonderful fans at Star Wars Celebration Japan? And CB, I'm going to start with you. I'm looking at you. So I'm going to start with you.
Japan is really my second home. I went to school here. I lived here for 5 years. Anyone from Kansai? Yeah, right. My family's still in Kobe, go Hanshin Tigers, and coming back here is just it's so near and dear to my heart. Everyone in Japan is so just gracious with their time. Everyone's so thoughtful. The fans are the best in the world. So for me, it's just so heartwarming to see everyone and embrace us as we embrace the Star Wars universe together.
Love it, Mark.
Well, I love Japan. It's my second time here, and it's always amazing. And it's just, for me, it's so surreal. Like, 6-year-old me who saw Star Wars for the very first time, like, to be here and, talking to all the fans and talking to you, it's like, 6-year-old me can't believe it.
Love it. And Ethan, how about for you?
Yeah, so today is the 30th anniversary of my father's death. He died in Tokyo. On his way to visit me, I worked in Japan at the time. So it is an honor and very important to me that I spend today, this very important day to me, with my Star Wars family, all of you. So, thank you.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, all three of you, for spending some time with us here. Ethan, thank you for spending time with your Star Wars family on this day. And thank you so much for coming by. We're so excited to see all the upcoming comic releases. And the fun isn't going to stop here because we have even more Star Wars Celebration Live coming up.
Thank you, everyone.
What's next? So we're Detention Block 8823 Star Wars podcast, and you're joining us watching Star Wars Celebration 2025 in Tokyo live. This is what they're broadcasting on YouTube. If you're listening to us right now, hit that subscribe button.
I'm here with the
Like
Rebel
this video.
Legion Japan. Good morning, fellas. How's your
Reminder, we will be
celebration
having a prize
going?
giveaway at
海外のセレブレーションは何回か行ったことありますけれども、日本のセレブレーションは17年ぶりなので、とても興奮しています。
I'm gonna translate it.
Getting
He's
closer.
been to the. He says I've been to
123. Once we
the
hit 200,
celebration outside of Japan
away.
before, but it's the first time in Japan in 17 years, and we're so excited.
Oh, well, we're so excited to be here, and we're so excited to be here with the Rebel Legion. Tell me about this space y'all have. This is amazing.
This is ここは隠れたシークレットベースです。なんでここ
I saw that
を
at
発見して
Anaheim
も
or something similar
帝
to
国に
it.
通報しないでください。
It's a secret bit, so if you find about you see anything, but don't tell the Empire anything you see.
We will keep it secret. We will keep it secret. If people come by your space, what are they going to see here, and what can they do?
秘密基地で隠れたレベルの反乱の兆しを見ることができます。これから作戦を練っているところを見ることができます。
We're creating our strategy here to strike the Empire here.
I love it. If people are here and they're from Japan and they'd like to get involved with you and they'd like to join Japan base, how do they do it?
ヒーローのコスチュームに憧れてる人はぜひジャパンベースのシャツを着た人に話しかけてください。私たちはいつでも誰でも歓迎します。
rebellegion.com please access.
So we are Rebel Legion, and we welcome anyone who is interested in the hero costume. So if you see people in this shirt, let us know, and we welcome everyone. We are Rebel Legion Japan base, rebellegion.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful space, and thank you for talking to us, fellas.
Thank you very much.
Who's next? Who's next?
Last year, a new baddie entered the galaxy of Star Wars, red lightsaber in hand and a permanent twisted grin on his mask. He may be known as the Stranger, but we all know and love the man behind the mask. Get those lightsabers up and get them red, and give a warm welcome to Manny Jacinto!
A Jedi live in a dream. An acolyte kills the dream.
This character is not particularly a fan of the acolyte, but this character is one of my favorites. He did a great job with Brandon too. The acting, this actor's great.
What an entrance!
Oh man.
You're too cool for me.
Oh, love you guys. Thank you.
Oh, welcome back, Manny. We're so excited to have you here. Last time you were at Star Wars Celebration London, Star Wars Celebration Europe, you were very cagey about what was coming in The Acolyte. You could barely say anything at all. And so I'm thrilled to have you here in a moment where we can talk a little more in depth about The Stranger and all of that. But how does it feel for you to be back here with the fans in this moment now that they know the depth and breadth of your story in The Acolyte?
Oh, man. I mean, it's such a relief to be able to talk about him. Because, I was talking just in a panel before. I kept that secret for 2.5 years. Not being able to talk to anybody about it, my family, my closest friends. I remember being up here, and if you watch back that YouTube video, like Daphne and Charlie kind of maybe had a slip that my character had a bit more than meets the eye, and it was at least now I get to just relax and just show some love.
We all know you are
Thanks,
a very fine actor, so I feel like if that did happen, you didn't show the panic on your face at all. You were just like, whatever these two are saying, it's fine. Those two are kind of chaos agents too. I love them, but especially during that interview circuit. What do you think it was about The Stranger that really got fans so excited about that character? It's such a fan favorite coming out of The Acolyte, where there's so many fan favorite characters.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for saying that.
I'm not alone in this, clearly.
Thanks, guys. What was the question? I think we wanted to bring something different. We wanted to take a risk and bring it back to, the original trilogy. Like, we wanted to feel the props. We wanted to interact with the puppets. We wanted to get down and dirty with the choreography, and I'm just so proud of it. So proud.
And you should be. It's such a beautiful 8 episodes. I love it so much.
Thank you.
If you can take us...
Thanks, guys.
A lot of Acolyte fans in the house.
I heard some boos.
Well-deserved love. If you can take us back in time for a second to when you were filming The Acolyte. Do you have any fond memories that you want to share about that time?
Oh, man. I remember first stepping on set and just being in awe. It was like Disneyland, but 1,000 times more excitement and just also mixed in with anxiety and just this nervous feeling of trying to do the fans, trying to do them justice. And I cherished every single moment from that first scene in the cantina to the fight, the 5 versus 1 in the forest. To that last moment where Amanda and I are holding hands, looking out to the sea.
I feel like you're being a little modest, too, about how hard you worked to work on that series, how much you trained, how much you all worked to be able to do as many of your own fight choreography stunts as you could.
I mean, we were set up to succeed. Like, we had the best team, from the stunt choreographers to the vocal coaches to the movement coaches, and we wanted, again, it was like we were birthing something new and different, and we wanted a breath of fresh air, and everybody was so excited, and we gave it our all.
No, absolutely. I love that between every question we have to pause for all the love and the shouting.
Oh, man. Thanks, guys.
Now, I have had the distinct pleasure of getting to talk to you so many times about your work on this series, including, I believe, person or one of the first people
You were.
who got to go in depth with you in a very sequestered office
Yes.
in Lucasfilm headquarters
Yep.
in Burbank, where we could talk all the spoilers and get ahead of that amazing reveal.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to talk about this afterward, I think, but can you remember what it was like for you when... So we had that conversation, then you got to lock it down again because you can't talk to anyone else about it.
I did.
And then a few short weeks later, you see the reveal and the floodgates open and you get to talk about everything. Do you remember that moment when you first saw that happen, that unfurl?
I kind of blanked out. I would get random messages from loved ones, which is
Going
it
on with
means
the
the
stream.
world, from whether it be a cousin or an uncle or a close friend.
Of course, it's sad.
And and some people that I haven't heard from in years.
Acolyte portion.
So I think just getting that love, I was like, oh, it's working. The journey has begun. It started, and if I could bottle that feeling and give it to everybody here, it's wild.
Yeah, and I feel like, I imagine nothing really prepares you for stepping into the Star Wars galaxy, and then and that reaction, that amazing, just love that you can feel it pouring off of this crowd too. Just everybody is so
100%.
excited
Thanks,
to have you here with us today.
Hey.
I'd also be remiss if we didn't touch upon your amazing costume for this series, because I love the design of the Stranger. I just love everything about it. And Star Wars fans are also really phenomenal with their costuming. I think we're seeing amazing cosplay here in Japan. I've seen some really detailed and spot-on Stranger cosplays just over the course of the last year or so.
Yes.
How is it meeting them and seeing these creations come to life? Like, what does it feel like when your character walks towards you?
It's I never would have thought that people would want to dress up like me. It just goes to show how powerful this character has touched people, and it's just thank you guys. I see you. Yeah, right there.
There's a stranger now.
Yes. The masks, they're not even out yet, and like people have put in hours of work and love into these costumes, and it really means the world. And I never would have thought I'd be able to shake their hands and because I see the hard work that they put into it, and it's not a comfortable costume. They're probably sweating inside, but it's just
that firsthand.
You can't see, you're bumping into people. But they made it with so much love, and again, it means the world to be able to, whether it be to just shake their hand, give them a hug, or to sign the mask. It's been the biggest blessing.
Well, that's fantastic. I also remember the first day we met. You told me that you didn't take anything from set. You didn't take anything. You should have taken something from set, Manny.
I always feel like someone from Disney, there's a sniper somewhere just ready to take me out at any moment. If I, make a wrong step or take something I shouldn't have taken. The secrecy of Star Wars. I think that's also a part of the magic. You just got to be careful, but I wish I could have taken even my lightsaber or my mask, but I mean, getting to share it with everybody is the best.
Well, I got to tell you, and I think I speak for this crowd when I say this, you are a gift to all of us here. We appreciate everything you do, and we actually wanted to give you a little gift, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm hiding it over here.
Oh my God!
It's his helmet. Or is it
my
a Black
God.
Series version of that?
What could it be?
Wow. Thank you. Thanks,
You're
guys.
welcome. You're welcome. This is the Hasbro replica helmet.
Yep.
It is not available yet. We wanted you to be the first
Put it on.
recipient here on
Right.
Star Wars Celebration.
How do I put it on?
Oh yeah.
I put it on.
Out of practice from being the stranger a little bit. Hang on one second. Let me
We'll figure it out.
here. Let me light it up for you. There you go. All right.
That's pretty cool.
Amazing.
This is incredible. I finally got my mask. Thanks, Kristen.
Oh my
Good thing.
goodness.
That's
You are
awesome.
so welcome, Manny. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for everything you brought into the Star Wars galaxy. We just simply adore you and the stranger.
Oh, thank you.
The helmet. It's classic.
All right.
Many of the other ones look
Now
so
that the
good.
stranger has been reunited with his helmet, you don't be a stranger because more Star Wars Celebration Live is coming right up.
Getting late. Trying. Pushing through. 2:09 in the morning. What do we got next? Either way, you are listening to the Detention Block 8823, a Star Wars podcast. Here watching Star Wars Celebration Live, Tokyo, Japan, 2025. We're going through some interviews, panels, hearing some updates and news and insights on upcoming stuff. We're shooting cannons that have t-shirts. We're visiting ramen shops with Star Wars art. We're covering it all. Okay, don't forget, yeah, man, don't forget your helmet. Ooh, excuse me. But I'm trying. So what's been your favorite news release or update or insight that you've heard from 2025 celebration?
Just do as I say. Never can be too cautious with strangers out here. Then again, you're no stranger.
If you haven't seen our reaction to this, go find our
Lady
video.
Ventress.
Watch it for the first time.
We got a problem here. Just saw him right in.
So we're good. Ventress this year. Maul and Darth Allen. Yes, you heard me right. Darth
What's the
Allen.
situation?
He was your best friend. Things have changed.
You took everything from me.
Who are you?
I was Count Dooku's lead assassin. I don't want that life anymore.
Bane? No one needs to die.
Get them.
You're gonna pay for what you did.
This revenge. I hope it was worth it.
It will be.
the celebration trailers? Who we getting? We're making the noise.
No matter what part of the Star Wars timeline is your favorite, there's a Star
OT.
Wars book just for you. And our guests right here now are proof of all of that, from Darth Vader to Andor to deep dives into the Galactic Empire. Let's say hello to Adam Christopher, Phil Shostak, and Chris Kempshall.
Yeah, I have that shirt. Star Wars
Hey
is
guys,
for
welcome
everyone.
back to Celebration.
Thank
Are
you.
you enjoying it
Thank
so
you for
far?
having me. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Always incredible.
What's your favorite part about Celebration?
Everything. everything.
Good answer.
I've spent the last 2 celebrations stood right down there. So the live stage is the best bit of Celebration.
I concur. All right, Adam, you have a new Darth Vader novel coming out later this year. What can you tell us about the Master of Evil, and how does it fit into the overall timeline?
Yeah, so Master of Evil is the first Darth Vader novel in 10 years. And it's going to be an amazing, dark adventure. It's scary, creepy, but it explores Darth
Oh. What's going on?
Vader's character very close to the end of Revenge of the Sith, which is a really interesting period for Darth Vader's character. This is when Anakin Skywalker is effectively dead and Vader rises. So this is an interesting period where nobody knows who he is.
Annie's still there.
Like, the Empire has arisen, there's the new Emperor, and suddenly this guy shows up, and he's Darth Vader. He's in black with his mask and cape. Even the Imperial hierarchy, have no idea who he is.
Right.
Which is really fascinating. So, how does he fit into the kind of the Imperial military system? But also, remember, he's Palpatine's apprentice. This is the Sith Lord and Master and Apprentice. And as we know from Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine made a lot of promises to Anakin to kind of draw him into the dark side. And now that Anakin is Vader, Vader is like, well, what are these things that you promised me? These powers that you talked of and the secrets of the dark side.
Truly.
Vader is like, come on, where's the juice?
It's a time of such immense turmoil, but for Vader, in his mind, it's a success for him, right? So it's so complex and interesting. What goes into writing a successful villain?
Yeah, Darth Vader is interesting because he's the most recognizable character in Star Wars across this whole kind of universe. But the thing to remember is he's an evil villain, but the villains are the heroes of their own story. Mm-hmm. A villain doesn't think they're the villain. They are the master of their destiny.
Really good.
And it's important for Vader at this point because he's starting out and he's on this journey of discovering the dark side. Because if you think about Revenge of the Sith, we all know the story. It's a very quick transition from Anakin the Jedi to Vader the Sith Lord. The kind of manipulation that Palpatine managed to carry out. So, it's almost like, this is going to sound strange, it's a journey of self-discovery for Vader. But also I'm sure there's loads of people here who are familiar with the Vader comics.
Yep.
Charles Soule, right.
Great.
Which is
Great
also
comic.
set in this time period. And the comics, it's a continuous story from the end of the movie. So you're thinking, well, a Vader novel, we've seen it, we've heard it before. It's you have not heard this story. The comics are amazing, and there are gaps in the storyline. So it starts off with the comics, and then it goes off into a whole new direction, which is exciting. As I said, this is the first Vader novel in 10 years. It's going to be a big one.
Lots of material to cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
So exciting. And Phil, it was just announced that you'll be writing The Art of Andor. What is it about Andor that's so appealing that would make you want to dive into the look of the series?
First of all, I'm just an incredibly huge fan of the series. It's so amazing. It's just an incredible opportunity to interface with. In my day job with the story group, I do a lot of work with production, and they tap into both my knowledge and people like Pablo Hidalgo, Matt Martin, and other people on my team. But yeah, just an incredible opportunity when this was presented to me, and I've been working on this book now for over a year and a half, and it's been quite a secret to keep all that time. And the book will be covering both seasons, 24 episodes. So
that was going to be my next question.
I'm sorry. I stepped on your question.
No, not at all. Oh my goodness, that is so exciting. I cannot wait. Chris, you're here to celebrate the book, The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. It sounds intense, complex. How on earth do you research such a thing?
So, The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire is an in-universe history book. So, to an extent, there are two authors. There's me, and there's Beaumont Kin from The Rise of Skywalker as the in-universe historian. And between the pair of us, we cast a wide net of everything that you could possibly want to know about the Galactic Empire. Because people, Star Wars fans, think they know the Empire, and Beaumont Kin thought he knew what the Empire was. But it turns out maybe we were all wrong in some way, that actually the Empire is bigger and more complicated and many, many times worse than what we ever really thought it was. And to do that, I looked at every comic I could, every computer game, every TV show, every film, every novel, to build up what might be the most kind of comprehensive in-universe examination of what it means to live in the same galaxy as the Empire. Wow. So if people get a kick out of Andor, which I think most people do get a kick out of Andor, then you might get a kick out of The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire as well.
Goodness, that is so fascinating. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Rena.
We'll see you on the pages of the next Star Wars book. More Star Wars Celebration Live. You know it. Stay tuned.
All right, you're listening to Detention Block A23, a Star Wars podcast. We're here live watching the streaming of Star Wars Celebration live in Tokyo, Japan for 2025. Bringing you all the updates and news and everything as it's coming through. That logo. Star Trek. If you're listening to us right now, hit that subscribe button. We'll be doing a prize giveaway at 200 subs. We're getting closer and closer to that.
Race to the top.
I'll give you a head start.
Free item. Free Star Wars item. It's 2:21 locally right in the morning. Pushing through. Let's see what we got next.
nearly 50 years, Star Wars has worn its Japanese influence on its sleeve, but perhaps nothing showcases this more than the unique Japanese art of manga. Here to talk about some of the upcoming titles are Kenny Ruse and Shima Shinya. Let's just kick it off. Kenny, what is the path of the lightsaber?
Hi everyone. Hi, the Spanish guy. Hi for everyone. Well, the Path of Lightsaber is a shonen manga. I'll be loving tonight, just now, and it's the story of Naoka, and she, like in a shonen manga classical, she want to grow up and learn to become a Jedi, but in the Star Wars way and in the mood of Star Wars, but with all the energy shonen manga can be.
Incredible. Tell us how you've connected the sequel trilogy to the High Republic era.
Oh, that is super interesting for me because we have a Naoka in the middle of in the episode 8 and 9, and in this situation, the First Order control all of the galaxy, and she's only a tinkerer in a minor ship, but she discovered all this starship from the Legend era, and for her it's like she find a castle with Excalibur, a legendary knight, but there is High Republic Jedi, and she discovered the lightsaber become to her. So for her it's like a connection, and she feel like the old era Jedi connecting with her. And for me it's like the new fans connected with the old-fashioned fan like me. So it is a link in between all of this universe. Like I really appreciate it. The High Republic is super interesting era, and the sequels is the era we discovered in the movie. So that connection is super interesting to work on it.
Of course, bridging the gap must have been like such an honor to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shima, you've been involved in the High Republic for many years. How does it feel to be close to the end of this era?
Speaking of end of era, it's gotta
kind
be
of sad, but also very satisfying that we have come to this closure, and I hope that you guys, the readers, will like it too. Yeah.
What did you want to show in Lily's arc as a Jedi Knight?
That she grew up to be a sort of different person. She's still Lily, but she's stronger in a sense.
Other than Lily, do you have another favorite character you like to write?
I really enjoyed writing Arkov, the Jedi Master Wookiee character, because you guys don't know what he says, but I'm the only person who actually know what he says. So
you know all the secrets?
Yes, I know all the secrets.
That is so exciting. Okay, both of you, what are you most looking forward to at the show, or what were you most excited about so far?
Wow, it's a good question, because the most intensive for me is still be here with all of you guys. That's amazing. I am a guy from Granada, the south of Spain, and I want to become a mangaka. And now we are in Tokyo, the origin of manga, with a Star Wars fan, that they are my own family. Thank you for that, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all of you.
Yeah, so do I. I enjoy meeting all the fans and the family here, and also Anzo panel. That was the main reason I'm here today.
Oh my goodness, the main reason.
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad you got everything you wanted out of it. Thank you both so much for joining me today. And let's keep this Star Wars Celebration live train going. Keep watching.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Who's next? Who's next? I have a feeling the major ones are done now. I feel like they're tiered guests. Kind of going lower and lower in the totem pole. No offense, but I mean, it's one thing if you're listening to Hayden Christensen talk versus authors of High Republic or manga. Again, no offense, but there's a reason they put certain guests earlier in the year. So Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm Games is next. All right. I'm assuming they'll probably talk Outlaws and Hondo, not patch, but oh, there you go. Is that Black Series? Has Black Series released theirs yet? I think so. Maybe not. Ooh, Greta Duba. Too bad it's not an animatronic. All right, what are we doing? All right, so we're Detention Block AA23, a Star Wars podcast. I say we, but it's just me, Mike, today. Watching live the YouTube broadcast or stream of Star Wars Celebration 2025 in Tokyo, Japan. Lots of cool things coming through, news, updates, releases, all the above. If you're listening to us right now, hit that subscribe button, like this video. Once we hit 200 subscribers, so we're kind of growing a channel. Once we hit 200 subscribers, we will have a prize giveaway. And I'm sure he doesn't like free stuff. Or make sure that your name is public. Otherwise, I'm not going to know who you are. I can't enter your name into a drawing if I don't know your name. And if you're not public, just send us a note and proof of subscription.
Have you ever imagined you were part of an elite operative going on missions during the Clone Wars? Well, imagine no more.
Yeah, that's right, Gil. Bit Reactor, in collaboration with Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm Games, are here all about the upcoming base video game, Star Wars Zero Company.
Oh.
Let's take a look.
Yeah. I like this. We have someone on our podcast team that might have some connections here.
Hello, Star Wars Celebration! I am Lucy James, and
Zach,
I
are
could
you
not
on?
be more
Are you
honored
on?
to be here with you all today because I get the incredible job of presenting a very first look at the brand new Star Wars turn-based tactics game and lead a conversation with the creators at Bit Reactor, Lucasfilm Games, and Respawn Entertainment. Now, I'm not going to leave you waiting. Let's get that trailer.
Oh, here we go. Go. Don't cut us out.
When people talk about the Clone Wars, they talk about the big moments, the crisis points. Planetary invasions, all-out assaults, cities bombed to rubble. Truth is, there's a war you don't see. The one fought in the shadows. The war beneath the war. A war that's won with the right strategy. Surveillance, ciphers, good old-fashioned sabotage. These aren't the heroes they tell stories about. They're professionals. setting aside their differences to take on the impossible.
Mando? Not Mando.
But that's the job, and they get it done.
Final Fantasy style.
Did you like the trailer?
The instructor.
I'm sorry, I said, did you like the trailer? Well, everyone, I'd love to formally welcome you to the Star Wars Zero Company panel and to talk about this brand new game coming to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Please let me introduce you to our wonderful panel. We've got Bit Reactors Greg Furch and Aaron Contreras. Lucasfilm's Orion Kellogg and Kelsey Sharp.
Phantom Menace going on.
And Respawn Entertainment's Jim Vasella. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Give them all a big round of applause, everyone. This is Readers Behind the Game. Let's go down the line and everyone introduce yourselves and what you do in the game. Greg.
Thanks, Lucy. Before we get started, we have a whole team home working on the game. You think you guys could give them a little shout out, give them a little love?
Woo!
Awesome. All right, thanks everybody.
Give flowers.
I'm Greg Furch. I'm the game director at Bit Reactor. I originally pitched this game to Lucasfilm, and my job is to oversee the entire development of Zero Company.
I'm Aaron Contreras, narrative and cinematic director. I lead the team responsible for the game's story, characters, and narrative gameplay systems. This is my third Star Wars project following Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor.
And games.
Hi, I'm Jim Vasella, a senior producer at Respawn, helping with the full production of the game. I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan. I'm the type of person who camped out for the prequels in high school and college.
Yeah, man.
And as a producer, I've been making strategy games for over 20 years. Cool. And so this was a dream project for me when I heard about it, and I jumped at the opportunity to join right at the start.
Yeah. I would too.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Sharp. I'm a creative executive at Lucasfilm. I work on anything Star Wars that has a story across our franchise, so not just video games, but books, comics, some animation as well. I'm also part of the team that oversees the lore and continuity of the galaxy far, far away, but luckily that job is pretty easy when I'm working with big fans like Greg, Jim, and Aaron.
And hey, everybody. I'm Orion Kellogg, executive producer with the Lucasfilm Games team, and I look after many of the Star Wars projects that we have in development. For me, Star Wars is all about meaningful choice, so it's about time we have a strategy game, right? Right on. And we're really excited about that. And another thing we're excited about is the continuity of this team. Kelsey and I have been working with Respawn and Aaron and some other folks in the crowd here for almost 10 years now. And we really hope that that togetherness and continuity shows in Star Wars Zero Company.
Well, what a crew. A round of applause. Well, I mean, let's get things started with, I think, the big burning question that everyone wants to know the answer to. Greg, just what exactly is Zero Company, and how did this game come to be?
Thanks, Lucy. Yeah, Star Wars Zero Company is a single-player turn-based tactics game with an original story set during the Clone Wars. We formed Bit Reactor back in 2021, and we had this idea that turn-based tactics games are a genre that just has so much room to improve on with like innovation in storytelling and immersion, and really could reach more fans than people really think. So we really went in that direction with it. That's how we've really been focused for the past several years. While that was working, when I started, we've been working a few prototypes, had some concepts for some games, Then when out of nowhere, I got a phone call from Vince Zampella.
Wait, how do you get your number?
Just looked it up. I don't know.
Just casually getting a call from Vince
Phone books
Zampella.
don't exist anymore, right?
Sent it many times.
Anyway, so now if you don't recognize that name, Vince is the head of Respawn Entertainment and has been behind some of the biggest games in the industry, like the Star Wars Jedi franchise. Vince was asking me for my thoughts on creating a Star Wars game. Now, I've been a Star Wars fan since I saw A New Hope in the theaters when I was 4 years old. So I think you can all imagine like my reaction, right? Lots of excitement followed by lots of anxiety.
In the theaters, nonetheless. Wow.
So we talked about the possibilities of developing a tactics game with the most beloved, most storied franchises in the world. And you know, it's the perfect combination. Honestly, one that I couldn't believe had never been done before. So now we fast forward to today. You know, we're working really closely with Respawn, Lucasfilm Games, to leverage their history of making incredible games to make this amazing new Star Wars game. And while we're at it, I can't say enough about our partners here. Like, they've been absolutely the best and super supportive of us. So couldn't ask for a better group.
Well, right back at you, Greg.
Oh.
You know,
awesome.
Like I said before, Lucasfilm Games, we're big strategy game fans here, and it really was about time, right?
Yeah.
And with
Been a
BitReactor,
while.
we have a strategy veteran like Greg and a lot of the other team members at BitReactor. They know what they're doing there. They have a lot of other extremely bright, talented devs working there. Hello to all of you watching.
Legs falling asleep.
And
Again.
they're all Star Wars fans, and it's true. And so I think when you combine that, we know they're going to make a great Star Wars game. We know they're going to make a great strategy game, and hopefully together they really innovate the genre. So, Greg, we couldn't be happier to have you in BitReactor, and we couldn't be happier to have Star Wars Zero Company.
I love this love. This is so
So
nice.
much love.
This is
It's
so
all about love.
Love, love.
Well, the
love,
trailer
love.
has such a different tone and vibe from what we've seen from more modern, recent
Sometimes
Star
it's a
Wars
little too
games.
much.
Greg, can you talk a little bit about the
about the
vision
stuff.
for the game?
Sure. When we set out to develop Zero Company, we wanted to create an experience where the deep history of Star Wars and their galaxy is married with the engaging gameplay of turn-based tactics of the turn-based tactics genre. In that process, we established 4 design pillars that we hold ourselves to every day. The first is start with Star Wars. It sounds simple, but you know what that really means to us is we stay true to the franchise. Part of that pillar is working with people that know Star Wars inside and out. So not only does that mean working with Lucasfilm Games, but also people like Aaron, who works at BitReactor now. But Aaron used to work at Respawn, where he helped develop 2 of the most successful Star Wars games ever made in the Jedi series.
Thanks. Yeah, when I joined the project, Greg and the team had already chosen the Clone Wars era, which is just a fantastic setting for a turn-based tactical game.
And I think it's worth noting that we're also working alongside Gordy Habb, the award-winning composer from the Jedi series, on our music and soundtrack. And Gordy's going to bring a new cinematic feel to the tactics genre, and of course deliver on that authentic Star Wars sound.
So the second pillar that we really follow is meaningful choices, and that's where thoughtful decisions impact the gameplay.
You're going to play as Hawks, who's a customizable hero who leads Zero Company. The decisions you make, what jobs to take, who to assign to your squads, and how you fight on the battlefield will have pivotal consequences in every playthrough of the game.
And the third, and this is one that's very close to me, is we want the game to be cinematic and approachable, something that I've been kind of championing for a long time in my career. And this is where the genre, I think, can really be great. The thing we try to live by is the depth of the game shouldn't really cost you elegance in how the game is presented, right? Like depth and immersion, they're not mutually exclusive things. As players, you should expect both and you should get them. So, you can see in the screenshot, we move the camera around depending on where the gameplay moment is and what we want you to feel as a player. So yeah. And when we first started talking about this game, I think one of the very first Zoom calls we had with Orion, I was describing, how we really wanted to change this perspective, and I described it to him, and he summed it up. So I'm kind of borrowing from him. He said that depth shouldn't cost you elegance, and it's really something that's stuck with me. And all these years later, something that we really, really try to follow.
Late, and my
We just want
son
great
is starting
games.
to cry, so I got to get going.
Here, here.
But again, we're Detention Block AA23, a Star Wars
The fourth
podcast.
is strategy and combat.
Thanks for listening
and
with
what
us
that
as we
really
watch
means
live
is think
Star Wars
high-stakes
Celebration
battles
2025.
with deep gameplay choices where
It's
we're
been great
delivering
hearing
on
all
both
the
the
news and
tactical
everything,
and the
and,
strategic layers
remember,
as
hit that
one
subscribe
cohesive
button.
experience. It's not just something that players
Until next
experience
time,
in two
and we'll-
separate
we'll bring
halves.
you
It's something that's
tomorrow's
woven
news as
together
well.
through the gameplay
But as
along
always,
with the narrative.
May the Force